Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be baking some cookies. The first step is to set the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And I cut the recipe in half, so you'll need 2 sticks of butter, a cup of brown sugar, a cup of white sugar, 2 eggs, half a tablespoon of vanilla, 2.5 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a bag of chocolate chips. So the first step is to melt the butter and combine the sugars. So I was dumb and cut the recipe in half wrong the first time and only melted 1 stick of butter. You will see later I will add in the second stick. But now I'm going to measure out the brown sugar, and it's very important to pack the sugar so you're getting it right. And I just like to do that with a smaller measuring cup. Sorry I didn't make a video last week. I was sick and I'm sick again, but we're making this video. And these cookies turned out really well and they were delicious. So now I'm just going to measure out the white sugar and add that to the brown sugar. So here's my 1 stick of melted butter, and I'm just going to turn off the heat and bring that over to the sugars and pour it in. And now I'm just going to whisk it all together. But shortly after I started mixing, I realized that this was not the consistency it was supposed to be after lots and lots and lots of mixing. So now I'm grabbing the second stick of butter and melting that. Here's what it looked like. And here on my laptop is what it was supposed to look like. So now I just poured that in and I'm gonna mix it again. So now that it's the texture I want it to be, I'm just gonna crack in the 2 eggs. There's one. And the second one, I'm going to try and crack one-handed, which is a skill that I'm working on. We got it that time. And then we're just going to mix all that in until it's combined with the vanilla. And once that is all mixed together, we're just going to add in our flour. And the second to last thing to add is our baking powder. And after all that's combined, the last thing we have to add is the chocolate chips. So here's the final dough. The next thing is to put them on baking sheets. Now, I like to use these silicone sheets to bake on. I think it helps the cookies bake more evenly. So I just put that down on a baking tray, got a little ice cream scoop to scoop out the cookies. And right as I was about to start that, Oliver, my cat, showed up. He always likes to see what's going on in the kitchen. But I'm just going to scoop out those cookies onto the silicone sheet lined baking tray. But since we only had one of those silicone sheets, the next tray I'm just going to spray with some Pam and hope for the best. So time to put the cookies in the oven. When I checked them the first time, they weren't quite ready yet, but the second time they were good to go. If you'll notice, the ones on the silicone baking sheet are a little more flatter and look a little meltier than the ones just on the pan, which I like in my cookies. So that's kind of like the main difference. They're also not as crunchy on the bottom. But here's the finished cookie. I struggled to break it in half with one hand, but I did it eventually. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week.